Hi chums, I think we are recording now. Yes, we are. Yo, I'll just turn the screen around so that I can see it. Okay, more spuds. These ones are called Sarpo Mira, the ones that all the Americans and Canadians would love to get their hands on. I would really like to be able to send you some, but you know, it's just not feasible really, because there's a whole CITES thing to consider, and I don't want to end up in jail because, you know, you never know who you might be sending stuff to. You could end up sending illegal plants and materials to somebody who was a customs officer or something. You know, you could end up in serious trouble. So I can't do that, you know. But what I will do for you is I will keep an eye on any information I might see about Sarpo Mira becoming available in the United States and Canada, because it's the least likely way of going to jail, you know. So there you go. So Sarpo, very good, very dependable. Now, a bit of an update on the International Kidney. Remember the last day I did International Kidney? And they were very disappointing, and that was not the potatoes' fault, it was my fault. International Kidney are a derivative of, they're basically Jersey Royal with a new name, and they're a beautiful, creamy, I'd call them a wet potato, but they're like a creamy wet potato. They boil beautifully, and they've got a wonderful taste of them. They are the new season potato here, and excuse me, we all love them. But as they get older, they tend to deteriorate quite quickly. And when we boiled the International Kidney, our Jersey Royals that I pulled out the last time, they went black. They looked like potatoes that had been blighted. So, and they hadn't been. The skins were fine. Everything was fine on them. But as soon when we boiled them, they went black. And I ate some of them. They tasted okay, but my wife didn't even bother trying them. They just to look at them put her off. But I cut off the bits that weren't black and ate them, and they were just okay. The whole quality had gone, you know. So unfortunately I have about 10 pots of them out there that are going to have to be dumped, but there's no point. I wouldn't give them to anybody, because they're going to boil them and look at them and go, what sort of potatoes is that to give anybody, you know. So that's that. So I was thinking about pain today and doing sore things, and I had a cousin on the phone this morning, Ronan, my favourite cousin Ronan. And I'll call him that, that'll make him happy, you know. I really hate him, but he's my favourite cousin. And we were talking about death, because there had been a death in the family. His uncle, Jared, died, unfortunately. But this is what happens with families, big families getting older. They tend to sort of, you find there's a big run of funerals at one time. And his mother and aunt died within the last year. So it's been, within the last 2 years, sorry, so that's 3 and 2 years have died now. It's very sad. But we went on, and he said he was going to spontaneously combust rather than die. And I said to him, I tried that one time and it was very sore. So the conversation went on, and I said to him, you know, I'm way to do a potato reveal here. And he went, if you mention me in your potato reveal, I will expect royalties. So I'm not going to mention Ronan, okay? Right, Donegal. Well, there's another connection with Ronan. Donegal, he loves going to Donegal. We used to go to a little place called Bunbeg in Gweedore, and there were 3 little villages, or little, I don't know if they were villages or what, they were Bunbeg, Middletown, and Derrybeg. And they were basically on a 200 or 300 metre stretch of road. And the 3 places were on the one bit of road. And we went to the Bunbeg bit, and the McNeilises there had, Andy McNeilis had a guest house, and he was my grandfather's cousin. So we always went there for our holidays, you know. And it was real good home cooking and all the rest of it. But there was a little beach down the road, down the Boher na Tra, down to the beach, the road to the beach. And we used to go down and play on the beach all the time. I was about 10 or 11 right up until from 8 or 9 right up until it was about 11 or 12. Went about 4 or 5 years in a row. And it was absolutely wonderful. So this evening I was on the beach, and it was just a small beach. It was just about many metres, about 100 metres wide, and about 20 metres deep when the tide was in. and it was quite a steep beach, so even when the tide was out, there wasn't much beach there, but it was still plenty to play on, and there was very few people on it. It was basically our beach. My family used to go down to the beach every day. There was just the four of us, my mum and dad and my sister and me, and we basically had a beach to ourselves for the day. That's what the west coast of Ireland was like back then, and in some places still is. You can go to the west coast of Ireland and have a 5-mile beach to yourself, you know. The surfers have caught on that there's good surf on the west coast of Ireland because of the Atlantic, and the surfers have caught on that nobody knows about it. So right down the west coast of Ireland, surfing has taken off, and there's lots of surf schools and competitions and that. And even then, the beaches are empty because they're so big that there's not enough people to fill them. You know, it's not like where you see Florida and Spain where the people are jammed in like sardines. You can walk onto virtually any Irish beach and pick your spot, you know. So, what was I going to say? So it was really good fun. But this was a little small beach that we had, and to ourselves basically. And we were down one evening, we decided to go down. We love the sunsets, you know. And we were on the west coast, so you saw the sun setting over the water, and it was just a lovely, lovely thing. I arrived down the beach and somebody had built a sandcastle, right? And I remember we're talking with pain here. So this is not a good ending, you know. So what do 12-year-old assholes do, or 11-year-old assholes do when they see a big, beautiful sandcastle? They put their boot in it, don't they? So there's me on my own on the beach, and I took a run at this sandcastle. It was about 4 foot, 5 foot high, and I put my boot in it as hard as I could. And then I realised that the sandcastle was built on top of the big rock that sat right in the middle of the beach, that I sat on almost every single day. And somebody had built a sandcastle over the top of it, and I can only imagine that they were sitting in their car up on the headland watching for some dickhead to come along and kick their sandcastle. Well, I'll tell you what, they got their money's worth, because I rolled about that beach like I was shot, you know. It was one of the sorest things I've ever done. It was really awful. So the moral of this video is, do not kick sandcastles. It can come back and bite you big time, you know. So that was me finished with spoiling people's work, you know. So a hard lesson to learn. Another really, really painful thing. More advice about beaches. We used to go to another beautiful place called Louisburg. If you look at a map of Ireland and you look right in the middle, you'll see Westport, and you come out along the coast, you'll on Clew Bay, on the south coast of Clew Bay. You will see a little village called Louisburg, and there's a harbour there called Old Head Harbour, and it's just a harbour, like it's going out like a J shape, and that's it. But a lot of fishing and stuff goes on there, you know. But it's only for families, like local families, bringing a wee boat down to go and catch a few mackerel or pollock or whatever it might be. But there's a wall obviously running down the pier, and there's a beach on each side. And this particular day, bare feet again, I was going down to the beach to do some fishing, and I looked over the wall. There's nobody there. I jumped over the wall and landed on rock. There was about a quarter of an inch of sand on a bed of sharp rock, and I thought that both my heels had ended up in my ass. You know, it was really, really sore. It took me about 2 weeks to get over that one. I'm sure I broke something because I couldn't put my foot down properly for a long, long time, you know. But so if you're going to start doing any jumping about at beaches, just have a wee look around before you do it, because it can be very bad for you. So as I say, Louisburg was beautiful. We had lovely holidays in Louisburg. It was a really lovely place. And it's one of these things that you don't bring your children back to somewhere that you have been for your holidays as a child, because it's never the same. But I was talking to Rosemary, when our kids were about 11 or 12, we decided we'd try chance Louisburg to see what it was like. And we went back, and it was actually smaller than it was when I had been going there 20 years earlier. Because all the young people have gone. There's no work on the west coast. There was no work on the west coast of Ireland for them. Okay, on the west coast of Ireland now, there's a lot of high tech and silicone stuff, you know. But at the time, 20 years ago, until about 10 years ago, there wasn't a lot. It was only in the last 20 years that's really happened. So for a 20-year period, say, people had no work. So they went to America and England and Europe and Australia, which is what the Irish do, you know. There are more Irish people in New York than in Ireland, you know. So, what was I going to say to you? So we went back, and it was actually smaller than it was when I was a child, and it was absolutely brilliant. We had a great time, you know. We went back there. We went back there five or six times with our children, and it was good fun because we had a caravan, and the children loved the caravan because it got them to they learned to see some of their own country. I've mentioned this before, where I'd be embarrassed when people ask somebody from Ireland, well, I was at the Cliffs of Moher, and they go, where's that? Or I was at Malin Head, and they go, oh, where's that? They don't even know us in their own country. So I said to Rosemary, before we take these children out of Ireland, they're going to know about where they live, because I don't want them going somewhere and somebody saying about a place in Ireland that they've never heard of. So we toured Ireland a lot and learnt all about the history. I've told you all about the sacrifices on the altars and everything, you know. So we had real good fun, but we went to Louisburg a lot. But one of the things that I loved about the camping was the children got to meet other children from other countries, and it widened their perspective on life, you know. One of the problems we have in Northern Ireland is that a lot of people think, or some people think, it's the centre of the universe, you know, and let them see that sort of our Northern Ireland's a very little speck on a big planet, you know. So it was great, and I said to Dermot about it, and one day we were in the car, and I said to him, do you like meeting all these people all the time? And he went, yeah, it's great, but there's just one problem. And I said, what? He said, all your new best friends leave 2 days after you meet them. And he was right. You arrive at a campsite, the kids make friends, and then their family move off and they're on their own again. So there was a rolling friendship thing going on, you know. But it was brilliant. And we used to watch our children with kids from France, Germany, Belgium, well, I'm trying to think of Italy, China, Japan. Well, I don't know if China is more Japan, Malaysia, all different countries in the world, Africa, I'm trying to think of non-English speaking countries, Sweden, a lot of Swedish people come here. And they didn't speak each other's language, but they had the language of play, and they could understand each other, and you could see them, and they play together all day long, and you would have thought they were all multilingual, you know. It was wonderful. This is not going very well here, actually. So, so if you do have children and they're still young, get them out there and get them meeting people, because like one of the best educations you'll ever get is travelling, you know. It's a great way to learn, you know. So, where are we at? This is not going to make for much of dinner tonight, is it? I've got my wee bag and all. There's about 2 dinners in this, maybe 3 dinners. It's just 3 dinners maybe, you know. There's only about 2 pounds of potatoes here, I'm sure. I'm only taking these small ones out to stop them going into the soil, you know. What's that? Where's me thingy bobber? Right. Turn this on. Hello. Let's keep you all happy. Right, what are we on? We're on pounds, so we're going to go to kilos. I'll just do the temperature for you here and see what temperature it is. 17.2 centigrade. What's that? That's about 60, but around 64, 65. I'll check on the other temperature in a minute. We're back to where we're at. We're at pounds. We want to go to kilos here. We're in kilos. I think I'm going to probably put a new battery in this little thing. So if I get 1 kilo, we're doing rightly. 1.09, 1.1 kilos. Where are we at? 1.1 kilos. What's that? 2.4 or 2.55 pounds. 2.4 not even negative 2.5, you know. So there you go. That's that. We're not going to get fat in that, I can tell you, you know. So I'm going to do another reveal now because I need to get some more potatoes. So I'll just do some more. So I'll come back in a minute or two, all right, and I'll tell you what's happening tomorrow. All right then. All the best now. Bye bye, and thanks for watching.